edition of No Fiction. And me, got me, Vontae, and my big homie Sharm.
What
What's
up?
going on with you?
Well, everything's good, man. Everything's good. Handling business, man. Feels good.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I got my stuff going. Got my stream. I'm really happy about. Got 6 followers, and which is crazy because five was my milestone, and I didn't know how quick I was gonna get to it, and I got to it faster than I thought I did. So I'm real happy about that. That's pretty much my highlight of the weekend.
Yeah. Yo, it's dope, man. Because I remember you starting out and you kind of asking me, me and you had a conversation about um just followers in general. And I was talking to you about the numbers and everything like that, kind of freaking out about because I got milestones too. Mine is like the halfway point, which is 25. I'm 2 or 3. I'm about 3 last I checked from being that to that place. So halfway point was going to be good, in which I, like you said, I got there faster than expected. And then of course the next one is 50 for me for affiliate. So um, I'm looking forward to kind of gaining those numbers and trying to look for more ways to kind of be more engaging. I got some shit on my sleeve to get working on, but it just takes time and effort. So just waiting to get organized and get some time solidified for that in particular.
Well, 10's my milestone. I reached the five, so 10's my milestone. So hopefully we can get it. I mean, we had 6, so hopefully I can get to that lucky number 10, and then after that, 15, 20. You know, I'm trying to get like you. I'm trying to get to your status, right? I'm
Bro,
trying to get to your status, man.
you don't want my status just yet. I'm still working. They ain't even got me affiliate yet, bro. So I ain't got no status just yet, but I best believe it's coming. And I think that the more you talk to people and more, because everyone kind of like, yo, let's build everybody up. I think the more you kind of network and talk to those people who you connected with, it's just gonna happen naturally, honestly. Like I met a lot of people just doing it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to go out and do nothing. And I was just doing the work. And then person after person, I show up on someone else's stream, they show up in mine, and it's just like it's just love, man. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the community is the way it is.
Yeah. That's what I've noticed about the Twitch community is it's like a big big happy family, and everybody trying all striving for the same thing, being successful, and that they're all willing to help smaller YouTuber not YouTubers but Twitch people, streamers coming up. Everybody's very supportive of each other, and that's what I've been like. You see it on Twitter too. I've been seeing a lot of tweets lately of streamers trying to get other smaller Twitch streamers, trying to help them out and trying to give them shout outs and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty dope because sometimes when you coming up and you doing your thing, some people don't want to see other people get their shine on and stuff like that. And Twitch is the whole opposite. Everybody wants to see everybody succeed, and that's cool because you need. I mean, I think that's just lacking in this world. Period. A lot of people just so focused on themselves and not really caring about everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've been noticing a lot about Twitch, and it's a very supportive group. There's no hating or anything like that, no bashing or nothing like that. Everybody just wants to see everybody succeed and reach whatever goals they want to get. I've been liking that. It makes me want to actually stream more.
Yeah, no, I feel all that straight up. I think it's comfort. It's a comfortable place to work in because I'm not the kind of person to try to take from somebody or try to gain. And like we was talking earlier, coming from the music perspective, that's kind of all it is. Everyone wants to be number one. Everybody's saying they the dopest. They even have battles, like rap battles. They ain't nothing new. Like you trying to be the best. You trying to be the coldest. And Twitch is just like, bro, there's enough games out here for everybody. It's thousands upon thousands of people playing certain stuff, even probably this very moment, the people listening to this now. And it's like, it's never about putting anybody down or trying to be above. And I wish I kind of discovered that purity in this before. I'm sure there's um, um, exceptions. There's people kind of coming along trying to be the best streamer and whatever. At the end of the day, though, it's going to be very clear who's like that. and people ain't trying to, what I'm saying, watch somebody be that kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful that it's like it is. And one another thing I'm grateful for too is that you can actually do it wherever you are. A big thing I realized too, as I'm kind of gathering equipment and gathering, as y'all probably can tell, things are coming up. But I've been grateful for the fact that you can just turn on the PlayStation or the Xbox to just stream directly from that.
Yeah,
You ain't even need no damn camera. You don't need no lights. You don't need nothing. It's just you. And actually, and people think that's just some bullshit, but actually, I'm following somebody. Shout out to Princess. I'm following her, who she ain't got no capture card. She ain't got no camera, no none of that, and she's already hit affiliate. She got like 80 something followers off of just her playing games and stuff like that. No camera, no nothing, just her playing the game with a mic. And now I don't even know if she has an actual mic or if she's using her controller or headset or something like that. But it just goes to show that none of that shit's necessary. And even if you have all the bells and whistles, if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't, I guess the chemistry don't work with you and the people, then it don't matter how much shit you go buy. Like, and I like that about it too.
yeah. You don't really need. I mean, I've learned. I mean, in the beginning stages, you really don't need all this crazy technical stuff. You can just literally just stream it all right off your console. I mean, and the only mic you can use is your your little headset. That's really all you need, and you can stream off your phone. You be seeing people doing
Right.
them IRL. Yeah, you see people doing them little IRLs. They be just streaming off their phone. They could be, I guess on vacation or something like that, and they could just, hey, let me just start a Twitch stream or whatnot. I seen one dude. I forgot his name, but he was streaming from his classroom.
Wow.
He was streaming because he's a teacher and stuff like that. You might know. You obviously know what I'm talking because you follow him.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
he
mean
was
Cole? My boy
yeah,
Cole.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy, man. I
Yeah,
like.
I couldn't think of his name, but he had a stream a couple, I think last week. He was streaming from his classroom playing the piano. So,
Mm,
so you can do stuff like that. I mean, there's so much range that you can achieve with Twitch, to the point where you don't really need, like you said, all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. You can just literally just stream
yeah.
off your phone, off your console. I mean, but if you obviously want to be cute with it, then yeah, you'll get the Elgatos and the stream decks and webcams and all that stuff. But really, you don't need it. It's really all about your personality and who you are and how you present yourself, because
Exactly.
that's what people care about, and that's what people want to see. People want to see some real nice people supporting people, just playing video games. That's all. That's all that really matters.
Hmm. Yeah, they do a really good job of making it feel like a community too. It's not. I follow a lot of people. Actually, most of the people I follow, almost all of them, make you feel like it's not just you watching them. Like they the on stage and we just in the audience. Like it don't feel like that. They make everyone
Hmm.
feel welcome. You can tell like they just engaging with people. You have to be a people person. It don't matter if you sit at the crib by yourself in front of a camera. You have to be a people person. Even you have to be a people person enough to let them know you're not just watching me. Like you ain't gotta, what I'm saying, like that people who are a people person, they may freak out if you're introvert because I'm introverted, but
Yeah,
there's
me too.
definitely a there's definitely a possibility. There's a difference between being in a crowd of people and mingling with all these motherfuckers, or you kind of hosting an environment with rules and guidelines and shit like that, and people coming in and watching you in particular. It's kind of different. So I'm grateful for that, man. But a lot of people don't watch Twitch. If you're on Twitch, definitely follow us. King Mason 217 is Vontae's joint. Shermville is mine. Definitely check us out. Give us a follow. I usually follow people back. I try to be, especially if you're coming up, you most likely going to follow me back. But not that it's
Of
about
course.
that. Hit me up. Hit us up. But I want to get straight into it, man. As y'all can see, Castle's here. Castle's not here. I'm finna pull on my question, so I'm not just playing on the phone. I got a question that actually we kind of low key could have walked into, which to me makes it feel like kind of like um supposed to be, because I um am on my way to moving forward, man. So all last year, I'm gonna give a quick backdrop. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because I want to get into this, but a long percentage of my life, I've been kind of just talking and not doing. And there's been some shit I got done. I'm not gonna say all of it was just procrastinating and all of it just fucking around because it's not true. I got some shit done. But there's been times where in my life where I feel like I could have got a lot farther. I could have done a lot more work, and I got lazy and I got, just kind of complacent with where I was. And but it's crazy because I would complain about where I was. I would say that if my job paid me more money, or if all this shit happened, all these things aligned, then I'd just be in this good place. But I said everything besides me working harder. Like I thought I was doing the most. And I'm grateful to have come out of that as we went into quarantine. Like I like to say, and a lot of people I believe would agree with this, that you in quarantine, you either fell really, really hard or you rose really, really high. And I think that it's kind of hard to miss one or the other. When everything was stripped away from you, you have to decide who you was going to be and what you was going to do. And a lot of people grew, a lot of people fell, and I decided to grow. And one of those things I grew in was just productivity and just getting things done and working towards just my goals and not necessarily waiting for permission to do it from my job or from people or whatever the case may be. I just did what I had to do. And I think that I say all that to say this, man. Not everybody's like that, and I'm not gonna call no names or whatever. But Castle's not here, and what kind of ties into that. And shout out to Castle. He's taking care of his family. I'm not. You never gonna hear me bash that man straight up. Like if I had an issue with that, we discussed it in a different manner. But um, I I discovered something actually prior this week, and Monty, I didn't tell you this because I wanted to kind of tie it in on together. As you can see, Casey's not here. Recently, this last week, I found out about some issues or whatever the case may be on the Joe Budden podcast, which is Joe Budden. The Joe Budden podcast is something that I think a lot of people are aware of, but if you don't know, Joe Budden's a rapper. He has a podcast with a couple of his friends. This last week, I think his two main guys who's been on the show for I want to say years by now aren't on there. Apparently, there's some sort of disagreement or something. It's all gossip until they come out and say it themselves. So I'm not going to try to pick apart what could have been. But long story short, is they're not there. I thought about the same thing with um, the Breakfast Club. Charlemagne kind of excelled to some extent. I don't nobody really talk about Envy and Angela Yee too much. No disrespect, but that's just the truth. Like Charlemagne's his own whatever, and they just are kind of just there with him. He's doing his own shit. He has his own shit, and you don't even see them outside of their shit. The Bulls was another one I wrote down with Jordan, who are Jordan, Rodman, Pippen. Those three were kind of like their own shit, and then Jordan left, and then those two kind of banded away too. And Everyday Struggle, which also involves Joe Budden, it was another trifecta that split up. Essentially, Joe left there, and people don't really talk about academics, and I don't even know the young lady's name. Forgive me, but I I started to think the reason I had those all three. I know I've been talking a while, but I really want to kind of explain this as a whole so we can get into the discussion where we need to get to it. There's the reason I had all three of us on here was the how do I say it? It was I idolized the trifecta, the three people. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. The three people, the three friends coming together, having a dialogue. I've seen it before. Those are familiar with Eric Thomas and his podcast before Jamal got on. It was just those three for a while, then everybody I just named, and you probably know a lot more than I do. Um, it was just three. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be dope. And that's why I kind of broke it off into season one, season two. Season one was just me. Season two was all of us. And this is kind of morphing itself into almost a season three-ish kind of thing. Because as you can see, Casey is gone. And it's not no disgrace. It's not because we had beef. I'll be open with that. Vontae can vouch for it. It's not nothing going on behind the scenes. He's just busy. You know what I'm saying? Take care of his family. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. But I am noticing the crumbling of the trifecta model that I looked up to for so long, and seeing a repetitive thing. So I guess the main question I want to ask you and the people and just you in particular is the trifecta, three people, three amigos situation, three musketeers, the Migos, that kind of shit, is that gone? Is those days, is that I guess what I want to say is not necessarily gone, but is it worth it in the long run?
I don't think that it's gone. I think it's worth it. I mean, it's the trifecta is kind of like boy bands and back in the '90s and stuff like that. And they be around for a little bit and eventually they all go their separate ways or stuff like that. It really just depends. I mean, I think they can work. It's just if everybody's kind of like on the same page. But if people got stuff going on or they want to get into on their own, that's where you start to see a little bit of a distinction and breaking up. But they can work. But it's just it really takes all individuals actually wanting to do it and wanting to keep going and having a vision and sticking to it. That's what I believe. I believe they can still work.
I think the sticking to it part is definitely important. Uh, because that kind of gets into what my biggest thing has been recently. Now I've kind of had like a life like altering shit, bro. I was in a dark place that I didn't really explain to a lot of people. I haven't told almost anybody actually. I told some people who had to know, and then from beyond that, I haven't really discussed where I was last year. But I was a there's long story short, I was in a dark place. And I kind of dug myself. I shouldn't say dug myself. I had some help, and I had I talked to some people and took care of myself in ways that I just haven't done before. But um, that kind of led me into okay. So so I guess the way to put that is like there was some shit kind of bogging me down. Everything was heavy to me because I had so much shit going on. I started taking the shit off, and then what kind of revealed itself underneath all that was the me that I've been wanting to be this whole time, which is productivity, getting shit done, kind of expanding myself and sharing myself with people in a healthy way and stuff like that. I can't expect everyone to have been there, not only to have been there, period, but to have been there the exact time I've been there. Right. So it's the question is fair, but it's unfair for me to ask if I came from a place of thinking I'm it just isn't I don't know how to explain, I don't know how to word it all together, but I do feel like it can work. I just think that you said you bring up individuals sticking together and sticking to it, and I think the reason I stuck to it or am sticking to it now is because of where I've come from before, and I don't know if other people have the same let me ask you this instead of saying I don't know. Do you feel like you had something in your life that came up, it's like that made it consistent with um like you just seem to be consistent with what you're doing, you seem to be working towards your shit, you got your stream coming, you've been here every week since we've started this pretty much. um I don't think that there's been an issue with you and consistency. Have you had to work towards that, or is that something that you just never had an issue with?
Oh no, I've had to work towards it, bro. It's something I'm still doing, and it goes even deeper than what we're doing now. It's into fatherhood, being a husband, like all that, going to work, like all that stuff. It all takes consistency, and you know I just don't want a bad image put upon me, because I have a lot of people that that's looking up to me and they look to me to be a good person, and more personally, I want to be consistent in everything that I do. So if I commit to something, like I committed to this podcast, I'm gonna do it. Same things for the stream. You know, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and it just goes into fatherhood, all that stuff, and it hasn't always been that way because I've been pretty lazy in my past, but I'm getting older now. I'm like my early 30s and all that stuff. I did all that junk I did back in the past. All that stuff is old. So I'm just trying to, have a better image of myself. So
So what would you?
it's something that it's not perfect, but it's something that oh yeah, yeah.
No, my bad. I couldn't. I thought you were done talking. It froze up on me. You go ahead,
Oh,
bro.
oh no, I'm good. I'm done. I was done.
So you said you work towards it. What are some practical things that you have done? If it's not super personal or super deep, what are some things that you have done in particular to actually work towards it? Because a lot of people hear this and they hear work towards it, and they talk about being in a dark place and all shit. And maybe someday I'll break all that down, but at the end of the day, it's not no new dark place. It's just like you just find out somebody else is dealing with it. Like it ain't nothing. I created some new dark space in the world. So I had a hard time. People know what that means. And that even means different things to different people. So I'm not trying to be like secretive. It's just that it just I can break it down, but then I don't what I don't want is people to start thinking that, oh, I didn't deal with that. So I'm in a different situation. When in actuality, some people just look for excuses to not do what they say they was gonna do. So I don't want to be nobody's scapegoat. I got through my shit. It's other people's job to get through their shit. But what did you do in particular when you said you worked through it to get where you are now? Because you had a place what you just said you wasn't like that, but now you're saying you are. So what happened? What did you do? Not necessarily what happened. What did you do to get to the other side of that?
Well, it's really simple. Just stick it to your word. When you say something, when you say you're gonna do something, do it. There's been plenty of times where I've been, accused of, of procrastinating and stuff like that. I'm saying I'm gonna do something, and then either not do it or push it off as far as I possibly can, just out of just pure laziness. So for me, it's just when I said me and Ash gonna go out, we gonna go out. I'm gonna set it up. We gonna go out. And then recently, as far as like me streaming, okay, I need to pick some days and stick to them, regardless of whatever. Just stick to them. So that's really all it is. Is just your word being your bond, and sticking to whatever you say that you're doing. And that's what I'm in. That's what I've been doing. At least trying to do.
That's real, man. That's real. I think my experience has shown me that you can't compartmentalize who you are. And what I mean by that is you can't be really you can't stick to your word in one area and then go fuck around somewhere else. So people kind of fool themselves because they think they're doing really, really good in one spot. And that they think they kind of take that whole thing and put it and blanket their lives with it. And the problem is that if you're not being a good father, then you probably ain't being a good husband, which means you probably ain't being a good brother. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't being a good son to dad, so on and so forth. I mean, it's like it's not necessarily some kind of I'm really, really good to this person or these kind of people, and then when I get over here, I'm finna act a fool. It's all one. You are who you are, regardless of where you're at and who you're doing that with. And people don't really. I think people get that once it's explained to them in that manner, but people don't think of that unless they're intentionally thinking of it. And it's become a part of my subconscious. And like you said, you pretty much it sounds like you're in the same situation when it comes to being consistent. You just said you got people looking up to you. And I people also talk about people think streaming is just like video games and all this other shit, but there's some people who are I don't know how to say it, but there's some people who are looking forward to your stream, who what I'm saying, or just may have had a hard day or whatever the case may be, and they get on Twitch just to kind of unwind. They see you there, and it may sound like it's simple, or it may sound like it's some kind of joke, but at the end of the day, I mean, people need to connect, and right now we're able to do that with electronics and technology. Like me and you having this podcast right now, it's like we're not in the same household, and we're not necessarily doing this to talk to ourselves. We're having this dialogue, and then we're going to take this dialogue and present it to other individuals. And I think streaming and even YouTube and things like that are essentially the same thing, it with different ways of going about it with the different platforms. And I just appreciate the effort that you were taking, because I think that if you weren't doing one of those things that you were working on, this would be a whole different kind of conversation. If you were even here in the first place, you would have been like, oh, yeah, I'll be there. And then I'm hitting y'all up and nobody's showing up. It's like, I can do it myself. I have been for years, bro. I've been doing this to some capacity since what, bro? 2000. I don't even want to go back, bro. Actually, the 10-year joint of my first thing has been out. It's coming out. It's been 10 years in June 10th, I think. And that's just that part of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about if I could do it with other people, but it's better when you have other individuals who are going the trajectory of their lives are kind of heading the same direction, because some people are going slow, some people are going fast, some people in different spots, and it makes it difficult to have a complete production when everyone's kind of on their own doing all this other shit. So I'm very
And
grateful
plus,
for. Y'all go ahead, bro.
yeah, plus, yeah, plus it'll be, boring doing all this stuff by yourself. Because it seems like you just, either you talking to yourself, or you just talking out loud, and after a while, it just gets kind of like, okay, it's getting a little repetitive, and then it makes you not probably want to do it, because it's like, you keep doing the same old things, and you know, and you want to add more people in, and people ain't want to do it, just makes you not, you know, kind of want to do it. But I mean, big salute to you to been able to, hold that down by yourself, because you still here. A
Bro,
lot of people would have been like, you know what, nah, this ain't working. I could talk to myself all day,
mhm.
but you was like, nah, you wanted to keep on going. Plus, you wanted to kind of elevate it, and that's why I'm here. To kind
Yeah,
of help spearhead that vision that you got.
absolutely, bro. And I think that someday when you don't want to do this, or if you just want to branch off, you can do your own shit. And it's not like I'm be like, bro, come back here, I own you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can probably vouch for this. We ain't never signed no shit. They ain't never been about no contracts. They know I agree to split the money if everybody, once the ad comes and shit like that. But it ain't never been no um this motherfucker is my property. It's not like that. I think at the end of the day, it's about the message going out to the people. So even when I was doing it by myself, I would have liked more people involved, of course. But at the end of the day, that's a way of asking for permission. Like, oh, ain't nobody saying yes to this. Okay, I can't do it. Like what? Like I've been wanting to do this for a grip, and this is what I'm meant for. So I'm gonna do it regardless of whoever shows up. And that's what I think people need to. If you ain't got to that point of it yet, then you ain't never gonna do nothing in your life, bro. Because it's always going to be I'm doing something for someone else. So when I get tired of doing something for someone else, I'm going to branch off. And it's going to be this thing where you talked about boy bands. You think of Destiny Child splitting up, and everyone primarily talking about Beyonce, and NSYNC breaking up and only talk about Justin Timberlake, and only talk about Charlemagne, only talk about Joe Budden, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, there's this person who wants to do it, and then everyone else doesn't kind of catch on, or someone may do it first. And it's not about who does it better, who does it. It's just who doesn't give up. So as long as you like that, there's plenty of groups who haven't broke up yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so it's not
yeah,
just always every time somebody come together, it's going to be a breakup. That's not how it is. But there's been plenty of groups who have kind of separated and then came back, and started from where they left off. And I don't disagree with any of that. My issue is with the core reasoning of why you started in the first place. Like if you can't latch onto that and not go nowhere, then it's always going to be difficult for you. And I think that it becomes this um it becomes an internal discussion at that point, because there's nothing I can come to you and be like, man, you said you're gonna do this, you said you're gonna do that. I'm the same person who asked you if you're gonna do it and you said yeah. So we don't need more of that. That obviously didn't work the first time. What we need now is for you to sit in the mirror and be like, okay, I committed to this. Am I the kind of person to follow through my commitments, or am I not the kind of person? Because you're either one or the other. And when you get to that point, you have to decide, okay, who am I going to be? Especially if you got fucking kids. Because if you
yeah,
think do you think they finna leave and start doing some other shit on their own, some kid ass mind, it's gonna just go off and logically think, I'm not gonna be like that because I think that's wrong. That's dumb, bro. It's
yeah.
dumb. So you're just setting up your family, and you're setting up another chain that somebody else has to come along and break because everyone before you fucked up. And that's not the story I
Yeah,
want to give my daughter.
yeah, exactly. I don't want a bad image of me for my daughters. That's why I'm trying to go on a better path than what I was doing because I was real lazy. Not spending time, not doing anything, just focusing on myself. Like I was in my own little world. I was keeping myself in the box, and it really took the lockdown really to kind of figure things out. Even though I was still on some lazy stuff when I was locked down, I spoke on that in my stream. I wish I could have got some of that time back because I would have did more with it. But now I've seen the error of my ways. I'm just trying to change and just be a good role model to them because they look at me and I'm like one of like the first men that they going that they see. Like even for you, like this you're the first man to your daughter see in her life, and you want to portray this good image on how to conduct yourself, how to treat women and whatnot. So I'm just trying to just be better. And part of that is not procrastinating and sticking to my word. So when you know, offer me to do this, I was like, okay, I'm with it. Because one is something that's way different for me because I'm real introverted. So this actually gives me a chance to even with the stream just to talk more because closed mouths don't get fed. So I mean, I'm trying to not change on myself, but just kind of making little improvements, trying to just be a better version of myself.
Yeah, man. Or I feel like one of my favorite sayings is, um, it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. And I'm grateful for
Mhm.
that because I didn't have a good start. And I think that a lot of people have that same kind of story, regardless of what that means for them. It's true. And I just didn't, I wasn't given a good set of cards at the beginning. But I think that instead of me crying about it, and I used to spend a lot of time, and it's funny, you were talking about how you kind of combined not being productive and all this other shit with you kind of thinking about yourself, which is dope because to me, I adjusted my thought. Like I would think about myself, but it would be in a way that was selfish. Like now I think about myself in a way like I have to stream. I have to put up this podcast. And I don't think I'm not saying that in a way like I'm only doing this for me and y'all can benefit from it if y'all want to. It's not that. What I'm saying is that I've changed. This is what I mean. This is probably cleared up a little bit more easier than me trying to break all that down. People say they inconsistent, but you actually are. And what I mean by that is don't get lit, y'all. I'm talking about the people who are sitting around not doing shit. They are consistent. They just consistently fucking up. You consistently watching TV. You consistently loyal to your remote and loyal to your phone. You consistently scrolling. You consistently. You have no. It's funny how people claim they ain't consistent, but they always at their job when they got one. Monday through Friday or whatever the fuck you work, you are 100% at your job. Ain't nobody got to talk you into it. Ain't nobody got to pick you up. Ain't nobody got to do whatever. But when it comes to you taking care of yourself, that's when you want to come up with all these excuses. And when you want to take care of your family and the ones that's coming after you, that's when you want to act like you ain't got no damn time. And the problem is that people don't really grasp the fact that that's building consistency as well. So as much as me intentionally doing this podcast, me doing the stream and some other shit that's coming up, I had to be because I just had to change what I was consistent in. It wasn't that it's like losing weight. Like people, you don't stop eating to lose weight. You stop eating bullshit. So
Right.
once you get the bullshit out the way and start eating what the fuck you're supposed to, your body will look the way it's supposed to, it's gonna operate the way it's supposed to, shit like that. And that's what I mean. Don't think you ain't consistent, and don't think you are building what's the word equity. You're building equity, and you fucking around because you think that it just doesn't do anything. Or I'm just sitting around not doing anything, but in actuality, you are. You're making a choice because you're constantly making the choice of not doing shit. So every show you watch, every show you binge, and you not also creating or doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. I say create because that's what I do. You are causing yourself to be in this place where you aren't necessarily, you're just making it harder for you to dig yourself out of the hole
Mm-hmm.
ultimately. And you, because but that works the other way too. When you are constantly working, you're constantly grinding, you're making it harder for me to, like, right now I can't, it's harder for me to go back and watch as many shows and watch as many movies as I used to. Like, it's harder for me to, I can't, I get sick when I don't feel good. I'm in a bad mood when I'm not doing the shit I'm supposed to be doing on a consistent basis. So now I'm kind of working myself out the other way. And I think a lot of people don't realize that is how important that is, or how much they're actually doing that. But it's very, very true.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You know, and we all are consistent. The thing is figuring out what you're consistent in and figuring out if it's actually bad or good. And so for me, I was consistently bad at a lot of stuff, not doing the things I was supposed to do. So now we try to switch it up, and it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. You got to want to do it. I mean, because we can easily just be lazy and just want to just settle for what we got and stuff like that. For me, I wanted to change. I wanted to change and be better. So now I'm trying to be consistent in other things, which is forcing me to kind of like step out my comfort zone, be a little bit more, I guess, vulnerable and stuff like that, which is, something that I want, something that I need, because sometimes you need to kind of challenge yourself. So, and that's why I'm trying to be more consistent in all this stuff.
I think when you speak about comfort zones, man, um, I think that's a huge part of it too. Is a lot of people don't know, they think they're going to lose their comfort when it comes to just not sitting around and watching TV, eating whatever the fuck you want. It becomes, as you work towards it. Like I said, it gets more uncomfortable not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it's not as, like, people think. I just have, I'm doing all this shit, and I have just endless time. But I got the same 24 hours everybody else got. And I will kind of vouch for myself, or vouch for your argument, or not yours, but like people. I will vouch for the argument of others, because I am single, and a lot of that, I know, being in a relationship takes time, and takes, it makes things different as far as scheduling and as far as consistency. But maybe I want you to be able to speak from that, because people will look at me and think I got an excuse because I'm not with nobody. I kind of do what I want when I want, to some extent. But maybe you could speak to them about how to handle when you got married, you married and have two kids. So it's like, how do you go from, like, in my particular case, how do I go from someone who is single, has all this time, has all this time, to being with somebody at some point, and essentially kind of not having as much freedom as far as time goes, as before.
Yeah, yeah, there's consistency in relationships too. So, that's one thing I've obviously been, still, you know, trying to do. And, as far as time, I mean, yeah, it's hard to, try to find time, because there was a point in time we had no kids, and it's just easier to be able to just up and just do whatever you want, have all the time to do everything. But now it's like, you got two kids, and you kind of gotta have all your, time is, very short. You'll be very surprised. It's very short. And trying to find time to, be with the kids, do stuff with the kids, and then, trying to find time for, just me, me and the wife and everything like that. And it can be tough, but it's, in order for you to actually kind of make it through and, actually get better with it, is a lot of it's, the little things is, communication and understanding what the situation is, and, you know, trying to figure it out. And because a lot of couples don't make it, and you can easily be, consistent on, just doing your own thing. Some couples could be together, and, they aren't together, and they're doing their own things. Like, she's doing her thing and he's doing her thing and his thing. And so we're not trying to do that. So it's important. Time is very key to, you know, trying to find that time in a marriage.
I think another big part that seems like it could be, now, this is kind of a guess, because like I said, I ain't with nobody, but I think another solution to the situation is also finding someone who is consistent in their lane too. Like finding a relationship who is someone who with someone who is not necessarily going to be like, man, why are you always doing this? Why are you always doing that? And that's the worst thing you want to hear when you're trying to be consistent. Why are you always doing this? Why are you always doing that in that kind of manner? Because it's like, dang, now I have to not do this. And it's like you have to break up the consistency. And now you have to balance it because you can't always be, for instance, on stream or doing podcasts or all like that while you have a
Yeah,
spouse, because it's, it then becomes, it makes sense for them. Why you always doing this? Why you always doing that? But when you can work out that balance and consistently kind of be able to manage that, I think that's when it becomes beautiful, because you ain't necessarily feeling like you in a peaceful state of mind. You're not sitting there streaming, playing the game the whole time like, damn, I gotta hurry about this motherfucking game because my wife, I ain't spent no time with my wife all week or some shit like that. And that can cause some issues if you don't got your shit together. Your stream could be popping, you can have all these followers, but then now you about to get divorced because you fucking around on the computer all damn day. But you can also not have a stream and be with your wife 24/7, and that may be arguably just as bad to some extent when it comes to you having a platform to help individuals. I think that help is important enough to well, I think it also becomes communication too, like
yeah,
to just have that discussion instead of just doing shit and expecting them to catch on. Like, but like, I want to do this stream, or I keep saying stream, y'all. Whatever y'all do in y'all life, y'all know what I'm talking about. But that's just where I'm
right.
at. So, anyways, like if you just talk to your spouse and be like, "Yo, I got this stream, or I got this, whatever, I got this, I got that, and I want to really commit some time to this. What do you feel like this? When's a good time, or whatever?" I feel like it's a really good way to get that shit handled too. Have you had that discussion with your wife? Because I know that there's a I feel like there's a necessity, but I don't necessarily know for sure because I'm not in that lane anymore.
Yeah, we've always been very supportive of each other. I mean, that's the most important thing. I mean, she has a lot of goals and a lot of things that she want to achieve. And so, yeah, we've always been supportive. It was her idea for me to even do this streaming stuff because I got the desk, I got the computers and everything like that. And she was like, why don't you go ahead, why don't you stream? Why don't you, yeah, why don't you stream? Why don't you do that? And me just being who I was at the time, I'm like, nah, I mean, I don't know if I'm built for that. I mean, but she kept, pushing me to, do that and support me. And same for her, going to school. I mean, because at first she didn't want to go to school because of money and everything like that. But I was like, yo, I mean, not a lot of people are. I mean, you have the chance of putting yourself in a position that a lot of people aren't in. You have a chance to be your own boss, have your own brand, be your own business person instead of, being an average person going working a 9 to 5, making money for somebody else, and contributing to their vision. You actually have a chance to, create your own path. And she was going to settle for just going to a job. It's like, nah, you're not going to do that. I want you to actually, I want more for you.
Mm,
I want more for you, just like you want the same for me. I want you to be just more than just an average person. I mean, you can be an average person, but it's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say like it's a bad thing. I mean, because you can be an average person, but for me, I just want to be more. That's pretty much what I want. I want our kids to kind of look at us and like, yeah, mom, she was, she got her business, and then dad, he got his thing. Like our parents was doing something instead of just going going to working a 9 to 5 and then retiring when they 50 something years old. Like we can retire when we get maybe 40 or some shit like that. But yeah, but support is key. Support, and obviously communications is key because it's not good to not communicate if you want to do other stuff. Like if you want to do something that can kind of like maybe get in the way a little bit of time or something like that, it's really important to communicate it because if it's not communicated, that's where the drama starts. And for us, we communicated all that stuff that we wanted to do, what is good for us to do, and we've been we've been prospering and we've been making it work. So I can't complain.
Bro, that's dope, man. So when you were saying all that, bro, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, that's shout out to your wife, man, because I know that is not okay. So I don't know how to say this without generalizing. It's gonna sound kind of crazy or sexist, but I'm not. But I know that there's a stigma, at least, if nothing else, if it's true or not. There's definitely a stigma of wives or women in particular not being supportive. Why are you always on the game? Why you never spend no time with me and shit like that? And I think that there's a risk that your wife runs into by not falling into that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause she can what your husband do or whatever, especially if it start getting professional. And like you said, at the end of the day, I'm trying not to have no damn boss. And that's
Right.
really what I'm trying. You know, not saying I'm doing all this because of that, but that's definitely the, I guess, sign, if nothing else, that you are definitely about to fucking get out the work game. And like you said, you essentially, every time you go to your job, you essentially making money for someone else. And people don't
Mm-hmm.
think of it like that as much as they need to, because obviously a lot of people don't try to get out. But I'm not trying to be talked to as an employee. I know I'm more than that. I know I got more than that in me. I'm meant for more than that. So I'm not going to sit here and chill in my life away. And then they say, okay, when you're 65 or whatever the fuck the retirement age is supposed to be, that we're done with you. You don't work as good when you're 65. Just go get retired. We'll give you some of your money back so you can just sit. And I was like, fuck that. Like, how you gonna try to tell me when I need to be done working? Like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to that. So shout out to your wife for being, you said support is key. And I think that's probably something I think people need to latch on. Y'all definitely need to hear that when y'all hear him say that. That it seems to be 100% for real. Because at the end of the day, if you have everything else but not that, you really don't have nothing. And it all comes down to you having someone who is going to be by your side, who is down for the same things you down for. And you was talking about family and passion shit on. I'm really big into legacy as well. I don't want my, if I love my daughter the way I say I do, there's no way in hell I'm a kind of set her up to just be someone else's boss after I know what that shit's like.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working since I was fucking 18, 16, really. And I know exactly what the fuck that's like. Why would I want to put her in that situation when I'm talking about, oh, I love you so much, I love you so much. Like, fuck all that. Obviously, I don't love her enough to make myself uncomfortable. And that's what people need to realize. It's hard. I don't love her enough to spend money to get shit looking right to where I can do it the way I'm supposed to. Like, that's not cool. So I think that there's internal subconscious inconsistencies that we have in our lives where we talk about we want one thing and then we don't want another. Not saying that some people want to work. I'm not saying
Yeah.
don't have no job, or anybody who has a job should be ashamed of themselves. What I am saying is that if you know that you're meant for more, and you 100% know that you're meant for more, and you're choosing to sit at home watching every show on Netflix, or you choose to sit at home and watch every basketball game, every football game, and are not doing shit to get yourself and your family outside of that, then there's an issue with you. And I think that people are looking for too much of a way out, or they either kind of want one foot in and one foot out, and they kind of want to balance and kind of see. And
Yeah.
this doesn't seem, and maybe you can speak to that as far as your experience with this too, but I don't see this as being kind of a one foot in, one foot out kind of situation. You either have to be all the way in, and now I'm not saying quit your job and go do some online shit. Like, let's be smart adults, but there is a part of this that's like, I have to sacrifice. I have to
Yeah.
spend money that I can spend on something else, something that may make me feel good, or make me have fun, and spending on shit that don't have no other use besides this particular thing. I'm sitting here with key lights. What the fuck am I gonna do with a key light after all this? So like, this
Mm-hmm.
is shit I have to use now. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean by sacrifice. Like, this money, I could use that. I could use oh my gosh, bro. As much money as I spent, I could have bought every game I wanted. I could have rented every movie I wanted to see. I could have ate every food, every meal I wanted to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then what?
Yeah. You want more for yourself, And yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, You want way more for yourself. And that's a problem with the society. I mean, some people are just so, they quick to just settle for working a 9 to 5. I mean, like I said, it's nothing wrong with it. That's not what I want. I want more for myself. I look at my job as like an investor. Like they're helping me invest in what I want to do later on. Like this ain't the end all, be all. I mean, and it's cool to, I guess, go up a little bit, well, within your job and stuff like that. But like I said, it's not the end all be all. I look at my job as like an investor. There's more things that I want, like we wasn't put on this earth to, work jobs. I mean, you wasn't put on this earth to, do work where you at. And same for me. I mean, we all put on this world for, greater purposes. But the problem is that we was all brainwashed when we was young, by teachers or parents and stuff like that. And it's not their fault because they was brainwashed too. So to thinking that you got to make a whole bunch of money at a job, you got to go work a job and find a job to be there for like 30 years and stuff like that, and then eventually like when you're 50 something or 60 something you retire. Like nah, that's not. I'm saying now like no, that's not the way. I mean, it's time for us to get away from that, break away from that mindset, thinking like this is the norm. Which there's so many possibilities that we can do. It's just unfortunate that we was just got kind of brainwashed into thinking like this is how it's supposed to be. We're just supposed to go work at 9 to 5. We're supposed to be the help for others and not want more for ourselves. For me, I want more for myself. I don't want to be like looked at as like, oh, you worked at Slumberland for whatever years, and I guess you got up there to where you was in whatever position. I want to get away from that. This place is my investor because I want to do something else. You know, because when you work a 9 to 5 and working at jobs like you're not happy. Who's happy you want to go to work?
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, you're not really enjoying it. You're not really enjoying it, and you're forced to have to, like you said, put your best hours into this so you don't get fired and stuff like that. So it's like I want to do something that I enjoy doing. I want to do something that I want to do, and if that means I got to use this place as an investment to get to where I want to go, then that's what I want to do because I want to be happy. I want to be able to work and do something that I'm happy doing and doing something that I want to do, not doing something that I'm forced to do
Mhm.
or that I don't want to do, but I feel like I got to do this because this is the only way I can make some money for my family and stuff like that. So I'm just looking at it from a way different, perspective, seeing things a little differently, and I'm going accordingly because of that.
It's truth, man. I feel all that, bro. I feel all that. I feel all that, man. And I hope the people feel that too, because that's some real shit. And I think a lot of people who listen to this do have jobs or whatever. Not everybody is working or operating in the career that they planned on doing or they want to do. And some people may be hearing this and they signed up for some bullshit because, like he said, some teachers or some parents threw you into some shit. And I think that that's a hard spot to kind of wake up in when you already kind of solidify in that lane. And it's like, damn, I just spent all this time, all this money. And then you got to, what I'm saying? You have to break up the emotional attachment of like, fuck, I just spent all this money, all this time trying to get this degree or whatever. Nothing, if you want a degree, go get a degree. But some people don't want a degree. Like some people are just doing it because they got told to. And that's what I'm talking about. So I think that there's a lot of doctors, there's a lot of lawyers, there's a lot of people in those positions who are just there because they got told this particular job makes a lot of money. And you talk about being happy. I think that's something I even sometimes forget. Like I kind of think of it as doing what I'm meant to do and doing what I'm supposed to do. And I think that sometimes I forget about the happiness part. Not that I'm not happy. But it's kind of like a byproduct of just, so I did it kind of not backwards, but I did it in a different way. You're trying to be happy, so you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's making me happy. So it's kind of like the same. It's the same kind of thing, but it's true. Like I forget because I get so caught up in just doing. Because after you done came out of some sitting around for what over a decade, bro, 20, 30 years of just sitting and fucking around.
It's hard to break away from
Really,
that, bro. It's hard to break
yeah.
from that.
So it's hard. So once you do, it's like I'm gone, bro. It's like not being able to walk your whole life, and then finally you get some fucking metal legs or some shit. And it's like, bro, I'm not sitting down ever. Like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that. I feel like now I got this shit in me. Now I'm building consistency. I don't want to just sit down. I have a hard time just sitting around doing movies. Even when I'm watching something like on TV or streaming something or renting something, I'm always on my phone going through emails and trying to see what else I can do for the stream or whatever the case may be. And it's never just like sitting there and just watching. And I have to. It's even hard for me to even sit down on a day where I'm just not trying to do nothing and like do nothing. Like it's always, what can I do while I'm doing this? Or what can I have? Like I'm sitting there with one computer on, I got one computer doing this, I got another one doing that. And it's like, I'm just like constantly trying to build and grow because I don't feel behind. I think this is like perfect timing. But I do feel like there's stuff that ain't nobody gonna do but me. And it's hard for me to have an idea and then transfer that excitement to someone else, even if they are a person of execution. Like it's hard to give someone that passion. I got so much shit I want to do, bro. It's so much shit. I can't wait to bring it all out. I can't wait to start talking to people about it. But it's just there's a lot going on. It's more than just this podcast and this stream. I can promise you that. So what I just don't like doing is talking about shit too early. You know, like shit. Speaking of, I guess kind of almost on a lighter note, bro, they be pushing shit back this year. Like they be announcing shit and pushing it back. You see that bullshit every time something finna come out. It'd be like, oh, they pushed it back to this, they pushed it back to that. I hate that, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. I mean, I'm a if you're gonna put something out, please have it be a finished product. You know,
Right.
and if it's not, I
Yes.
mean, and if it's not complete, you know, don't put nothing out. Like you know, don't put nothing out. And it happens a lot, especially like in the video games and stuff like that. You see plenty of games that get this promotion and then it comes out with like all these bugs and stuff, which is I guess you know that happens, you know, but sometimes some of them bugs and some of the you know mess ups are just outrageous. And
Mhm.
so at some point you start looking at yourself as a beta tester. Like we're beta testers for, you
Yes.
know, like I'm speaking on just video games, like we're beta testers and we're not consumers anymore. We're just beta testers and we're testing their game, seeing what all the mess ups is, and it shouldn't be like that, you know,
Mhm.
because these games get to the point where they cost like $100,
Yeah.
you know, especially with these next gen joints.
Yes.
Like they cost like $100, pretty they getting close to $100.
Mhm.
And so like when you paying however much money for a video game, you want to make sure it's a product. I mean, it's a good product and it's a complete product. You
Mhm.
know, it goes even with music. Some artists they push this stuff back. You know, some movie productions get pushed back. Okay, if y'all know it's gonna be like that, don't say nothing.
Right.
You know, don't say anything
Exactly.
because some people that you know that are invested in what you're doing and they get all excited about it. It's like you know, like a game or a movie, whatever comes out, and they say like, oh, it's gonna come on this date, and then that date's coming up, like it's getting close, and then oh, we finna push it back a little bit. It's like, dang, like that's a downer, you know. And
Mhm.
that upsets people. Like, why would you want to put your, you know, fan base through that stuff? You know,
Right.
it's unfair. I mean, I understand. I mean, you know, we don't know what how it is in their position, but I mean, still, I'm speaking on from like a consumer standpoint. Lord knows what they go through from production because I'm never produced anything, but at the same time, you know, don't put anything out that is not complete.
Exactly.
Bottom line.
That's all I'm saying, bro. Like I'm not saying like I'm not upset when something takes a while to get done, especially
Yeah.
some of these big ass games. Like I imagine it takes some time, especially with COVID. You got certain people can't be in the building and all this other shit. Some people maybe even be working from home, try to make a damn game. Like I get that. It's when they have a date out. They go
Hmm.
as far as announcing it, get everybody excited, and then they push the shit back. And it's like, why did you give us a date in the first place? I have a thought. I have a theory. I think that um some of these events, like these damn game events, I think
Hmm.
they be getting paid by some of the, I guess like Sony, for instance. Sony had some shit come out. I had an event. I think I can't even remember what month it was, but one of the biggest games was the Back for Blood joint. I'm naming names now, y'all. Back for Blood got pushed back but it was one of the biggest things that people was excited for in that shit. So it's like, and another big example of Cyberpunk, I think we all know what's up with that. Like, it's been 100 days since it ain't even been on the damn PlayStation Store. And it's like, well, 100, it probably 100, over 100 days by the time y'all hear this. And it's like, why did y'all even come out? Why did y'all even try it? And you was talking about bugs. I think that bug shit is fine, because I mean that's a very complex thing that they're trying to create, environments and controls and people walking around. You got people that's not even playable walking around, and you got shit going on in the background, the sky doing all this shit, and it's huge, and we as gamers expect so much. The problem is that, like you said, we as beta testers for this shit, it's like y'all know it's fucked up. And even Back for Blood got a beta still coming out this summer. I was like, okay, so how is that not testing your game out?
Yeah.
Back in the day, as far as I know, now I'm not no, I have not created a game as far as like computerized and all that shit yet, but people used to play the shit before it came out. Like sit there and just kind of play it and make sure nothing was wrong with it and all this other shit. They'll make a game and be like, okay, y'all, beta it for it. And they make you excited for the beta now. Like, oh, now you get the beta. We working for them. Like,
Yeah.
we're employees at that point.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, we get first access to the game, but who knows if the final version even is going to be what we plan. And it's
Right.
just like, I don't know, man. I don't feel it. Like if you, I don't feel it. Like even if you got deadlines, have internal deadlines, and then get to
Yeah.
that finish point, and then start talking about shit.
Yeah. I mean, to me, beta is the new word for demo.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's so
that's pretty
cold.
much it. Yeah,
That's a
that's pretty
bar.
much what it. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, this is a new way of just saying demos because that's how it was back in the day. I mean, back in the days of PlayStation games, they used to send out demos, like demos of whatever games, and you play them, and whatever bugs was in the game, then they go back and they fix them. It's pretty much what the same thing is. That's pretty much what the same thing is. We're just back then we were demo testers. Now we're beta testers.
Mm,
But now it's a little bit more outrageous because they're putting out dates like, okay, this game comes out. And for the Back for Blood thing, I don't even see like if there was a beta if there's a beta already like coming out before the game comes out, why are you pushing it back for? That makes no sense.
precisely.
Okay, so my question is, what are y'all pushing back? Are y'all pushing back the beta, or y'all pushing back the real game? Like, if the beta's coming out, the beta should just be how it is already.
Mhm.
So that's my question. Like, are y'all pushing back the actual game itself? Because you shouldn't push back the beta. Like, the beta should be like, okay, the beta's coming out at this point. But if y'all, yeah, that's my real question. Like, are y'all is the real game being delayed a little bit and that's getting pushed back, or
Right.
is it the beta? Because if the beta is getting pushed back, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's really wrong. Something's wrong with that game. Then.
They was fucking. They was capping. I'm
Yeah,
willing to be corrected, but from this side of it, they capped because they said the beta coming out in the summer. The final game was supposed to come out in May. No beta.
yeah,
The final game was due in May. May is spring, ain't it? Am I wrong?
yeah. I think something like that.
So
It's
now they
still
got
it's warm out.
right. So they got the beta, not even the final game. They got the beta coming out in the summer. So now the beta is coming out after the whole game was supposed to drop in May. So now I'm like, why did y'all this? It should not even been talked about. Now, okay, now here's somewhat of an exception. I like what God of War did. God of War Ragnarok went at the end of the event. They just put the little thing up and says Ragnarok is coming. They didn't put, as far as I know, they didn't put a year. They definitely had no date yet. So that kind of shit, okay. Like you just teasing it to let us know, oh shit, they get the talking. Oh shit, they working on something. They working on something. That wasn't an event thing. That was just kind of like a little tease, let us know something was up. And now that shit's fine with me because I kind of get it. But even then, be somewhere close to it. You know what I'm saying? Like be like in a pretty decent space. You know what I'm saying? Don't just put that shit out and just leave it as it is because they announced fucking Cyberpunk. They announced that 8 years ago, 8, 9 years ago, literally 8 or 9 years ago, bro. And this shit just dropped, and then it was fucked up from the jump. So it's
See,
like,
they didn't put out no betas. They should have put out some betas.
yeah,
They should
yeah,
have. They should
yeah,
have put out betas. I heard none. I heard none of the horror stories about that game.
yeah. But they got whole compilations on YouTube about how fucked up the game is. People having a hard time. Now some people are fucking, I don't know what to call them, but they are like, oh yeah, the game is amazing. They played it on PC. I think even Xbox you can still buy it. PlayStation will not even let you get it. They even have a. I went to go. I returned the game, and there's a spot when you go return the game like normal. They got a spot. Are you here for Cyberpunk? Like I'm like, damn. Like there's so many people showing up there. They just have a spot specifically for Cyberpunk. Like it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I to me, I just feel like as a person who creates stuff, and I'm still kind of get some shit done. I don't think I would ever put out a date for something that I don't know especially if it's not done. Like that is a horror story. Who knows what's
Yeah.
that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, like I got this shit coming out. Like right now, I'm working on the 10-year anniversary of the fucking Sorry I'm Late joint. I
Sir.
could I know when the 10-year date is. Like the exact date is June 10th, right? It's March, right? I think that I have a plan exactly what I want to do. I know exactly what I want to add to it, and I know
Mm-hmm.
roughly how long it's going to take. I haven't told nobody about that yet.
Yeah.
Like I don't even just nothing. I mean, it's different from like one's a mixtape, one's an entire game. I know it's different, but what I'm saying is the release date aspect of it. I haven't even told nobody but you and Casey, and now I guess the podcast know. But at the end of the day, it's like I keep this shit close to the chest so I know. And then when it's time, start talking about it. Maybe if you want to put a single out, even the singles are kind of sketchy. Maybe 2 weeks and then do that little month. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever the month is before May, it'll be May. Sometime in May, I start talking about it a little bit more, start hitting towards it, start, putting up promo shit about it. Put a song out maybe a couple weeks before there, some shit like that. Have a plan together because I'm not gonna be like June 10th and then something comes up and y'all don't, what I'm saying? Like y'all don't get it because I was fucking around and it'd be like, oh, okay, well, sometime in July, I'm gonna push it back to October. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's good to have a plan, and
Right.
and we're talking about a video game. They don't. I don't think they have it. I don't think they had it planned out. I think they need to kind of go see what the creators of Last of Us did, because they just showed what the game was. Okay, this is what we got. Then the next year they put out gameplay for it that you can actually play, and then the next year the actual game came out, and in that game there really wasn't nothing wrong with it, because
No.
there really wasn't nothing wrong with it. I mean, to me, I can't even think of like one thing. And you can tell by the way that game was and how there was nothing wrong with it, that they really kind of planned it out, and I think that's key. Like you gotta have a plan and secure the plan and then go through with the plan. Don't have no slippage like what Back for Blood they're doing, and actually having a date and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then because the game's coming out, or we got the beta whatever's coming out, this thing ain't even halfway done. We're not even close to way done. There's so many bugs and stuff like that. Oh, we got to push it back now. See, that's where you start losing people. And
Right.
so for me, that shows me that there's no organization, because that you shouldn't do that. That's
Right.
that's that's bad for business.
Yeah.
That's bad for business. Like I think it's real important to have a plan, have that plan mapped out, and go through with it, because the last thing you need is for having to push things back because of whatever reasons. And when you already have like a set date, that's just not cool.
And
And
what I was gonna say is that it's even worse when you're taking money from pre-orders. That's when
yeah,
that's a whole different situation. Like they was taking bread. Like you could I think I don't even know if you could do it now or not. Actually, let's test it in real time, bro. I go on this motherfucker right now. But I'm pretty sure last when I seen it, I almost got it, and I was like, because it was back. I can't remember when the event was, but it was sometime after that, and I knew I wanted to play with y'all because I remember Left 4 Dead. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it. But I was like, nah, I get paid. I get a few checks by then. I can just get it when it's closer because they gonna do shit, but just sitting on the fucking countdown. And thank God I didn't get it because I'd have been so motherfucking mad. October, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
This egregious. I think
They they probably
sorry.
waiting to bring it out on Halloween. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Well, it's like October 12th, I think.
Yeah,
So
they're probably trying
it's
to.
in that Halloween realm though.
Yeah, it's that month, so I think they're probably waiting for it to be like that. This is still whack. I mean, because
Yeah,
if that was the date that y'all wanted, then just set it up like that. You know.
bro, like straight up. And I think that there was a lot of well, it still says 6/21/21. So they haven't pushed it back on the PlayStation Store yet, which is cap because they put it on the company themselves put it on Twitter about pushing it back. So PlayStation ain't
Nobody's
done that shit yet.
nobody bought a pre-order to chill Sony then.
You can pre-order right now. You can pre-order shit right now, bro. You can't see it on my damn thing, but
I
you
can
can,
see it.
you can pre-order right now. I can buy this some bitch right now, and the shit's not coming out till the almost the end of the year. And I think that sometimes there's an aspect of it that's like we need money to help, like crowdfunding to some extent. But if that's not what you're
Mhm.
doing from the jump, then don't ask me for no damn money. Some shit y'all ain't done with. I, there's been plenty, not plenty. I don't want to exaggerate, but there's been a lot of games that get announced that either got defunded or some motherfucking company closed down or some shit going on in the behind the scenes that it didn't work out. Don't take nobody's bread unless it's a crowdfunding thing. And that way, if like you pre-order it, you should get the beta or some shit like that. But I mean, you ain't gonna be playing with nobody but yourself and probably a few
Yeah,
other people. But I think at the end of the day, so we can think of solutions for them. But at the end of the day, they know what's up. They
yeah,
fucked around and told us about some shit that's not done yet. And there's a lot of places that don't get away with something like that. The video game
yeah,
companies seem to be able to kind of do that shit because it's hype. And at the end of the day, people shit like if they push back God of War, people ain't not going to just get it. You know what I'm saying? You said it's bad for business, which is very, very true. It's worse for them though because they're like some huge, humongous company, and this is not a game that everybody's like looking for real. I want to play it because of almost nostalgia from Left 4 Dead 2 from when we used to play it, which is why I'm so invested in kind of keeping up with the times. I don't know if other
mhm.
people are like that. And there's other
Who
zombie
knows?
games to play.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try to get into that World War Z. I got that downloaded, so I'm gonna see we good with that.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good too, man. So let's wrap this up with that. So I got the birthday shit coming out when this actually by the time y'all get this, birthday shit will be over. Um, but if you was there, if you was there, thanks. Because that was Wednesday. I'm looking forward to seeing what we do. I don't even know what I'm gonna do, bro. I had all these kind of plans in my head, but I didn't announce them. I didn't announce them. I didn't say shit. And you heard me all week kind of talking about I had the that goes back to our point. I had all this birthday shit. I never said I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Whoa, whoa. I didn't talk about none of it because I wasn't sure yet, and I'm kind of leaning towards not doing it. We'll see. I got a couple ideas that I don't think I'm gonna have time for. So unfortunately, I may not do that, but I will be streaming. So that's kind of the main thing I wanted to do anyway.
All
Um,
right.
so that was for real. That's what's going to happen. Um, I had a couple of things I wanted to do to kind of go along with the stream, but if it was maybe on the weekend, it would work a little bit better. I think kind of in the middle of the week is a little bit odd, but I ain't complaining. This is the first year anyway. I think we got plenty of birthdays coming, so I can do a bunch and plenty of events too. I'm looking forward to what some holiday shit. Definitely Halloween for sure. What other holiday coming up that we could do some shit for, bro? I think well, we can figure all that out later, but I'm definitely want to do a Halloween situation so we can get to that. Definitely look us up, man. Like I said, we on Twitch. We on Twitter too. I think you go Twitter. I'll let you say your shit because I don't remember it. I don't want to fuck it up.
All right, yeah, you can catch me at Twitter is at King Mason 89, and then on Twitch it's Twitch TV/ King Mason 217. Streaming on Wednesdays, Fridays, and squeezing in Saturday because Saturday is a good day. So 3 days. Yeah, you can catch me on them.
That's what's up, man. So I've been trying to do the 3 day thing as well, but because I'd seen the schedule when it was like 2 days, and I was like, man, that's a lot of time I'm not doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I had Monday through Friday on my damn overlay. I was just looking at it, I was like, man, it's only 2 days on this bitch. So I'm trying to squeeze. It just looked bad, bro. Just the aesthetics was like, damn, I ain't never on this motherfucker. So I'm gonna try to do the 3rd day thing too. Try to squeeze in the Friday. Um, so definitely check me out on Tuesday. I'm Shermville, everything, you know, the drill. Two days is going to be the harder games. I'm still trying to work out what I'm going to play, but we most likely are going to start with Dark Souls. Um, I've been trying to play Dark Souls for a while. Hopefully we can catch Demon Souls on sale and make catch the, you know, throw that in there at some point. But definitely going to be Dark Souls. Um, and then Fridays, which is going to be the 3rd day, is going to be uh kind of like an indie game. I'm gonna find like an indie game to play this, because shout out to the indie people. We was talking about these big companies and all this other shit, and I really want to shout out to indie companies, man, because I know what it's like to be an independent, you know, everything, and it becomes very difficult. I mean, there's no support. When you finally get that thing done, you've been working on and grinding on, and nobody pays attention to it, no one talks about it, and everybody's playing on the big shit. You feel kind of, you know what I'm saying, like it can bother you. So I'm gonna do my part and making sure they get some love. So every Friday, I'm going to find an indie game to play through. Hopefully, we get through all of it. Sometimes they're a little bit longer than others, but um, we'll see. But definitely check me out Tuesday, Thursday, Friday on Twitch. I'm Shermville, like I said. And yeah, that's it, man. We got through another episode. You got anything else for the people you want to talk about, man?
Nah, man, be good. We got another one out, man. What's this one? Episode, I think maybe
Thanks.
5.
I
I
feel
think
like
5.
it's 7.
7. Okay. Well, hey,
Oh,
that's good too. You
yeah,
pushing towards 10.
yeah,
Let's
definitely.
get 10 of them out. That's a milestone. Get 10 of them joints
Right.
out.
Yeah, the truth. Yeah. That's a huge milestone actually, because believe it or not, the way it is now, it ain't always easy to get some shit like that every week too. Yeah, you know, let that be celebrated, bro. So yeah, so yeah, that's it, man. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate y'all. Let us know what y'all think. We got this thing on social media too. I forget to shout it out all the time, but it's no fiction forever podcast or some shit like that. You find it. Go find my production company, with the Sherman Mason Productions. You'll see that I'm following it. So if y'all can follow that page and my other page, and also want to shout out the Thought Party, that shows up every Wednesday on the podcast. Definitely stream that too, because that's definitely some deep thought in that. And if y'all ever want to show up to that, let me know. But I'll let that be there and let this be here. But definitely take care of yourself. Say no drugs. Drink milk. Stay in school. Take care, man. Holla at y'all later.